Okay, everybody, this is Henry Vigeant here. John, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
I muted the lines. It just John Bishop came in and unmuted himself to speak.
Okay. Let me
Well,
just
folks,
quickly hold on 1 second. Hold on. Sorry. All right.
my name is Henry Vigeant. I'm from Gilmanton, New Hampshire. And tonight we're going to talk to you about a revolutionary company called Ihub Global. John and I have been working together for a decade now, and he and I both looked at this business, a unique business, in May, and both of us kind of spun our heads like, can this be real, right? And so after some due diligence, we both decided to move forward, and we have had a stampede of people come into this business. John's going to talk to you about a lot of the statistical portions of the company. He's had brought this slide deck together. This is his creation. He's going to show you all about the Internet of Things, Helium, where it developed from, where Ihub developed from, and a little bit about the compensation plan. So sit back and relax. And John from Houston, Texas, will take over the show.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Actually, Henry's the one who's been blowing the doors off this thing. It's been quite remarkable how fast this has grown. And that number on your screen is accurate. That's 80,000 affiliates. What'd you say? You hit 82,000 today? You're muted. I didn't mute you.
Yes, 82,000.
Just incredible. So congratulations on that. And the number of people that we have that are now getting devices is going vertical. It's just going up every day. So we love that, and we're getting busy. So let's do that right now. We just got back from Vegas a week ago Saturday. Actually, it was just a week ago today or Tuesday. We had a great time out there. This was the official launch of Ihub Global, our marketing company. And that was the first time that everything was official and in writing, and they had all kinds of major announcements. And so it's all in place now, and we are blasting off in a big way, even though we've already got 1 million people plugged in here. Now we start really making money with this. So I start off always with a trivia question. For those of you that haven't seen this presentation before, this is for you. What do Google, Nestle, Salesforce, and Lime, these 4 companies here, have in common? And the obvious answer is helium. They're all plugged in here in one way or another with this company. And we'll talk about that, and then you'll know how they're plugged in a little bit. So we're going to cover our legitimate long-term business. We're going to talk about the product, what we do. You know, a lot of people think we're mining crypto, but that's not what we're doing. We're actually transmitting data, really similar to cell towers. And so that's a whole game changer right there, because most people are not familiar with that. They think that we actually are like trying to generate cryptocurrency. With the way we generate cryptocurrency is with data transmission. So you'll see some of that. You'll get a little bit of the specifics on our device and how it produces income. And we'll show you where you can go to research that. We'll also show you how the income here can actually multiply itself and how that's actually already happened in a big way for a lot of us. We'll show you how much market share there is and how much you can earn by building out the Helium network. We've got a real example of that, which is super exciting. And then you'll also be able to see how much you can earn from just having one device versus having 100 devices, and how you can turn this into significant income. We'll show you the money behind Helium, and we'll also show you the money behind our marketing company, and some exciting info on that. You'll be able to see the companies that are already paying Helium for their data transmission service. And we'll talk about the IoT, the Internet of Things, and how that's growing. We'll show you our marketing company and how you can join us. So we're going to cover all that in the next 10 minutes or so. We're going to definitely get through very quickly, but there's a lot here to cover, because once you hang up with this conversation, we want you to be, understand it completely, and then be able to go and build your network instead of having to go and research it. Because really, to me, this is one-stop shop. As soon as you got this info, you can go right to work. Henry and I, just to give you an example, we got on a private call with the CEO of Ihub back on May 24th. Hard to believe that was almost 6 months ago. Seems like yesterday. And when we hung up that call, we were on the phone together and we said, this is it, let's go to work. And that's what we did. And it's amazing how fast people grew. So we're talking about the People's Network, which is a paradigm shift for connecting to a wireless world. And you're going to see that wireless world here. It literally is an unprecedented chance to get a big piece of a technology revolution, which, I mean, if you think about it, how many tech revolutions have you ever been able to get a piece of? Maybe you caught a little bit of an IPO, but that's about it. Really, when have we had a chance to grab something like this? This is unprecedented. It's real, it's long-term, and I love this word right here. It's actually necessary. You think about all the home-based businesses where it's like, really just a coin flip of whether anybody needs whatever you're offering. Whereas here, there is a definite need, and you're going to see that. In fact, it's already been fleshed out many, many times in major magazines, Fast Company, Forbes, Time, Fortune Magazine, all kinds of cryptocurrency publications, online publications. It's been written up everywhere, hundreds of articles talking about. Henry just posted another one on our Facebook group today. So they're all over the place, and you can go check that out. But let me turn the clock back and pretend it's 1980 or 1990, and someone gives you the opportunity to go own 100 cell towers and then get paid for all the data that would be transmitted over those cell towers. Would you do it? Today, looking back, of course, everyone says, yeah, absolutely. We'd have to go get the money to build these monstrosities, and we'd have to have the money to lease the land or buy the land that they would stand on. Very overhead intensive, right? A lot of dinero to be able to afford that. But here's the big reason why most people would not do that. Back then, not everybody had a cell phone. In fact, very few people had a cell phone, and it wasn't crystal clear that every human in America was going to go get a cell phone. Today, we know that's what happened, and so it makes going and grabbing a few cell towers or 100 a no-brainer if you have the money to do it. Well, that analogy is perfect for us because we're building a data transmission network, but we don't have all the overhead. We don't have the costs associated with that, which is part of the magic of the Helium network, because we're going into homes and offices. So we get paid for sharing a little tiny bit of our real estate with just a small 4 or 5 inch long box, a transmission box that's going to receive and send the radio signals. And we don't have all the overhead. We don't have to rent the land. We don't have to go through all the zoning and regulations and county commissioners and federal tax and all that stuff that we don't have to deal with. So, and by the way, we already know without a doubt that what we are doing on the data transmission end is a home run. We don't have to question whether or not machines are going to be getting on this network and talking to other machines. That's the Internet of Things. We'll talk more about that later. So we're building this network, the world's fastest growing wireless private data transmission network ever, with a lot more security for pennies on the dollar. And there's a couple different of our devices. You can go check those out in detail at helium.com. But this is the CEO of Helium, Amir Halim, who said just almost a year ago to the day, what if someone could stick a box in their window, turn it on, and become their own cell tower all of a sudden? I hope this starts a movement. And, you can do this open source without AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile. And that open source means that anyone can go and see the programming and then adapt their computer programming, their API, to communicate on this network. It's open source. It's open to everybody. And so we have this little device, what we lovingly call our PIG, our passive income generator. Like I said, it fits in the palm of your hand, nearly free. You got a small monthly lease and an activation charge, and we'll go through that and we'll talk about that so you know exactly what that is. And it's user friendly. Now you can plug in here with our company for free, but you do have a little bit of cost involved with this device. But it's basically a one-time thing or a very small monthly amount. And then that's it. There's no other costs, no affiliate fee. There's no auto ship fees. You don't have a monthly required minimum that you need to go spend money on. And the plug-in here is really so simple. Plug it in electricity, connect it to the internet, and then add this little 8-inch antenna. Now you can add a much nicer antenna that will bring you in more income, and we get paid on the production of this device. That's it. We don't get paid for bringing people on. We don't get paid for talking fast. We don't get anything else other than production on that device, and we didn't get paid literally all day, every day. I was talking to one of my business partners, and I said, you realize that when everybody takes the last week of November off and we're doing holiday and celebration, this machine is not going to stop working. It's going to continue to transmit data, and that means Thanksgiving, that means Christmas, that means spring break. The machine is still working, whereas in every other business we've been plugged into, you really took a dip in your pay during those holidays. So that won't be the case here. Needed service, growth tidal wave. Most people have not seen anything like this before, both on the consuming end as well as on the marketing end. It's a home run for us, grand slam. And like I already mentioned, no zoning, no regulations, no maintenance headaches. Really, you set it and forget it. You don't have to deal with all the headaches that are tied in there and, having to go back and check on it and all that. Minimal attrition, because, when someone gets a box and they set it up, that's it. And, there's no like, oh, I'm not going to, deal with this box anymore. So very few people have heard about this. I figure 95% of people out there don't have any idea what is going on with the hotspot and the whole Helium network. So we're going to talk about that in a lot more detail with the market share, what you can do here coming up here in just a minute. How do we earn money with this box? Well, you get paid for hosting that device when you tell the network that hey, I'm there. This is my hotspot. I'm right here. So when you provide that proof of coverage, when you build that coverage, then the network knows that you're there. And then the other part of it is transmitting the data. And it says right here, this is right off of helium.com. The more data a hotspot transfers, the more it earns. So we want to transmit data. Eventually, when the coverage network is built out with millions of these devices, we won't really get paid for this. We'll get paid only for transmitting data. And, the day that happens, when we transition, transfer, transmit, when we make that move to 100% data transmission as our income, that's when this is going to be a beautiful thing for those of us who got in and got a lot of boxes plugged in. And it's going to be a rough day for people that didn't get on it because they missed out. It's like real estate. Once the properties are sold, it's all over. So we get paid for hosting that hotspot in our home or our office in the cryptocurrency of Helium. That's Helium Network token, and we can convert that to dollars anytime we want. It's real easy to trade in and out. If you're on the call early, you heard Miles talking about how he went and converted some of his H&T to dollars and then went to Dunkin' Donuts, and that was fun. Great story, Miles. Thanks for sharing that. Maybe you can repeat that later because we had like half of the people come on after that story. But H&T is on many major cryptocurrency exchanges. This isn't the stock market. It's not NASDAQ. It's not NYSE. But you can go onto a crypto exchange like Binance, like Bilaxy, like Crypto.com. There are many others. Our company is plugged in with CoinZoom, and pretty soon that'll be live on there. And we're already at like $5 billion market cap. It's crazy. So we're I think we're actually up near the top 50 in cryptocurrencies. What number is that on Crypto.com? I'm sure someone will tell me where Helium is in the chat box of where we are in that crypto rank. It's shocking to me because our cryptocurrency just went live about a year ago, a little over, maybe a year and a half ago, and hardly anybody's heard about it, but we're already, you compare where H&T is to where Bitcoin was at this same stage of its life, and it's incredible to me, going from, like 25 cents, a little less than a year and a half ago, to already now $50 a coin. I can't even imagine, because this is a coin that's actually got a real use, a real need for it, not just a store of value like so many cryptos that we've seen. So you can go read the white paper. You can go do all your homework that you want to. This is real. This is the timetable. Here's another thing that just blew me away. This is a home business with a 50-year business plan. Check that bad boy out right there. I can't even believe it. Remember, I talked about proof of coverage. Right now, here we are in we just started year 3. So we're really, we don't have 3 years under the belt. We have 2 years and a few months because we turned 2 in August. But, that is about 1/3 of all the, right there, a little bit more than 25% of all the income. The payment that's coming in to us for hosting that hotspot is coming from proof of coverage. And you can see another 1/3 of it is coming from network data transfer. And then you'll see how that expands. And I'm jumping ahead right here. The more companies that use the Helium network that are actually paying Helium to transmit data over their network, the more HNT that needs to be paid out to people like us who have a box in their house. And over the next 15 years, that's where we're going. From here over here to year 25, we'll transition from proof of coverage to 100% of that data transmission pay. We're not going to get this. We're not a Helium investor. The people, the companies, the venture capitalists that put up that money to get this thing going. So we're not going to get that 10 or 20%. And we're not going to be a consensus group. Although some people could, but if you were, you wouldn't be on this call because you'd already have like a ton of money set. But what other home business gives you a 50-year payout timetable and business plan? I mean, I've never seen anything like that. Really exciting. And, I'm looking forward to decades of fun with all of this being in place for a long time. One more reason to go and get a network in place with us. So this was a slide that the company put up on the screen when we were out there in Vegas. That was fun. Our event propels the HNT price. What's awesome about this is that was Saturday morning when they had this on the screen. Remember that, Henry? And a bunch of you, that were watching the Vegas event, you know what I'm talking about, because we were all getting our picture taken in front of the screen, and it was fun. And I actually have a better picture than that. I just haven't taken the time to download my pictures. I need to do that. Too busy talking to everybody. But this was when Helium, the HNT, was like around low 30s. And then a day later, the price went crazy. It was pretty amazing. And we got charts on that too. So that was fun. And that was a little bit of foreshadowing. Oh, hey, look, here they are right here. We're talking about how the price went vertical. This was back in September, 2 months ago. And I can't even believe you look at it. It was 25 cents when they introduced it back in June of 2020, right? Just a year and a half ago. And then by August of this year, it went from 25 cents to $25 over that timetable. And you can see on that day, it dropped back to 21. Anytime we hit a peak, anytime any crypto coin hits a peak, you can count on it going down from people selling and taking profits. That's how, this thing goes. It goes up and down and so forth. But you look at that and you compare, it wasn't that big of a drop. And the point is, you see the trend, you see the vertical growth of that. I told people back here, at the end of June, hey, go grab some, it's $10 a little under 10 right there. You can see over here, $10 per HNT. And then it went up 2.5 times, and that was fun, but it got a lot more fun. I'm just showing you some of the math. And, this is what actually did happen if you had bought $1,000 of coin back at the beginning in June of 2020 and then sold right there. That would have been a little crazy. Heck, even if you sold it $10 a coin, that would have been crazy. But then check this out. This is what happened when we were sitting there that week, last week. Was that last week? Can't even believe it. But that was November 3rd. It was at $27 right there. And then at the end of that week, when we were out there in Vegas, it went to $50. It actually hit $55. True story. It peaked at $55 just a couple days ago. So that was fun. So it says right here, 51% jump at 43. Today it's like at 46, 47, whatever. I told somebody on the phone today, I don't care if it's 35 or it's 55. It doesn't change anything with us because you can see the trend on how this is growing and going vertical. And here's something else to keep in mind. Every time we get major press on Helium, what happens to the price? Kind of a no-brainer, right? So hope you see that. You can check that out. I did that screenshot from crypto.com. You can do that, at any exchange. They're not affiliated with us, so it doesn't matter. I'm not endorsing any of those cryptocurrency exchanges. I'm just showing you what's going on. Now, check this out. It says right here, the network is live. This is on helium.com, and total hotspots right here. I did this on November 10th. What's today? November 15, right? 5 days later, we just busted, like seconds ago, 320,000 hotspots. So we just added 15,000 hotspots in 5 days. How many is that per day? That's 3,000 a day. You see what's going on? 3,000, very nice math. Thank you, Henry. 3,000 a day times 30 days. How many are we adding a month? Oh my gosh, it's incredible, right? So what you can do is you can actually track all this by at helium.com, clicking this blue button right here, view the network. And it's not our network. This is all the hotspots that are plugged in around the globe. Here's North America, here's Europe. You might look at this and go, oh no, it's super saturated. I'm too late. Look at that. Everything from DC all the way up to the middle of Maine, and up there by Santa Claus and Henry, there's nothing left for me to grab. But that's not the case. You can zoom in. I'm here in Houston, and that looks like it's totally saturated. But when you zoom in on the map, and you can do that on the actual map, you'll see that there are just humongous wide open spots. These just glow green, and they actually look a lot bigger than they are. Same thing, over here in London and Germany and so forth, Paris. So don't worry about saturation, because we need millions of these devices. It's wide open. Look at Brazil. Speaking of wide open, it's pretty comical. So we got a lot of work to do, and we have years and years of growth, millions of these devices to add. But if we backtrack just for a minute, it's kind of fun to look at a little history. This is when they launched the network in August of 2019. They actually launched it 2 hours west of me in Austin, Texas. That was where they first deployed hotspots. And then, they had a bunch of these others that deployed about the same time. You can see over here in Silicon Valley where the Helium company is actually headquartered. They got a bunch there and down in LA and across to Phoenix and so forth. So they set all this up, and that was day one. It was a few hundred hotspots. They had a few thousand, minimize that. But here's the thing. The CEO of Helium, right back on his blog there, you can go read all this, helium.com, jump down to the bottom left, you'll see a little link to blog, and you can see all his predictions. This is from the end of April. So that was about, 7 months ago. The current Helium network, well on its way to becoming the fastest growing global network with a forecast for over 600,000 hotspots in the next 18 months. I chuckle every time I see that, because, when I saw that number, I was like, 600,000 by the end of 2022? No way. How about triple, quadruple? That's a lot more on target, I think. I mean, I'm sure he was trying to be conservative, and he also didn't want to, overpromise and underdeliver. But this is the actual timetable up to, right around here before the end of the year. I just told you, we're at 320 long before January, the turn of the year, right there. We're nowhere near the end of the year. We still got a month and a half, and we're going to blow past that 400,000. But here's the thing. I use the same growth, 100,000 in August, that's where we were, to 400,000 at the end of the year. I did that same exact. We're going to grow at multiples of that. I was, again, trying to be conservative here. But Henry and I first saw Helium, as he mentioned at the beginning, back in the middle of May, and there were not even 38,000 hotspots there. I still have to chuckle at that. And now we're already almost 10 times that in just 6 months. So 6 months, if we're 10 times that, whoo, boy, that's crazy to even think about that. But we're not going to get that greedy. Let's just say that there are 1 million hotspots by August. That means we would have gone from 7,000 in August of 2020 to 100,000 in August of 2021 to 1 million in August of 2022. Do you see what's going on here? That is exponential vertical growth. And it's fascinating. Ihub, our company, our marketing company, was just launched in March of this year, but it was conceived, it was actually thought of by Chuck Hansen back in September of last year, just over a year ago. Ihub is totally brand new. Most people are not familiar with what's going on. There's the 300,000. Forgot to click on that. And again, we just hit that last week. So kablooey. And you can go see this whole timetable on the blog. Every milestone, of 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, they have a big announcement on that. That was a cool little video graphic that they had on their site. So our marketing company announced They had purchased 300,000 a couple months ago. They had purchase orders in, but they solidified that, and they gave us a timetable for delivery of 274,000 hotspots in the first half of 2022. And I'm going to show you that. Henry's going to show you that here at the end of our presentation if you want to see that timetable in writing. But this is a Facebook post that Henry grabbed off of our company's Facebook group, Ihub Global. There's thousands of hotspots sitting in the company office. And, you know, we looked at the total number there. That's an old number at the time. And I boosted that up to 400,000. I just got tired of, you know, updating this because the numbers are, you know, spinning like a Jerry Lewis telethon. No one even knows who Jerry Lewis is anymore. So I know that his old analogy doesn't work anymore. But you can see right here, whether they're 500,000 hotspots or 300,000, whatever. The point is, if we go add 274,000 hotspots in the next 6 months to that, we're going to have a huge chunk of that number. And you can see whatever that percentage is, whether we are 10% of all the hotspots that are on the Helium network or 50%, or 30%, whatever. The point is this. This is the key question that you have to ask yourself. How many of those new 274,000 hotspots do you want to get paid on? Now, I said I only need 50,000 of them. You can all split the rest. But, you know, it really is, I'm joking around, but it really is up to you how many hotspots you want to go put in. What's fascinating is when Henry and I first looked at this, we said, okay, let's see if we can put 1,000 of these in place by the end of the year. And we did that in a month. And so at the end of June, we were like, okay, 10,000, let's do 10,000. And then 2 months later, we were there. And then all of a sudden it's like 100,000. And, you know, as you already heard, Henry's already got his group at 82,000 with, you know, 6 weeks left in the year. Just incredible. So, and if he's adding just, he's been averaging about 500 affiliates a day, you can see how he could easily hit 90, 100,000 by the end of the year. Just incredible. To do that in a 6, 7, 8 month period is unheard of. So we are sitting pretty right here. Our marketing company, you know, as we talked about, is growing so fast. And just to take the clock back a little bit, this is July 1 when we were on this corporate update call. This is our CEO, Rick Cotton, right there. And I don't know if you can see these numbers or not. Don't worry about it if you can't. We were at just under 30,000 affiliates that month. And they predicted, hey, at our rate of growth, we're going to go to 100,000 affiliates by September 1. Well, we actually hit that on August 1st. True story. And then we started adding 100,000 affiliates a week. And that's why we hit 1 million affiliates by the end of October. Really incredible. And that's been our rate of growth. So we're growing like crazy, and we're going to show you how you can get a big piece of this network, which, again, 95% of people haven't even heard of. So we got to get out there and get this real estate, because it is a race to get devices in place before all those spots are taken. Just like, again, buying houses, you know, once the houses are sold, that's it. You can't go and, get some appreciation on those houses if someone else has bought them up. So I figure we got a window of 2 to 3 years to get that real estate. And that means we all need to hustle, move as fast as we can. So we're going to show you how to get paid on a huge number of these devices without having to buy them all yourself, which is very attractive, especially if you're not sitting on, you know, thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to go and buy a lot of devices. Now, this right here is if you go and build your own network of hotspots, how much can you get paid? And there are 2 commissions. I'm just going to touch on them briefly. You can go back to our previous recording that we have on YouTube, and you can watch all the details on there. It's fairly simple, just like a little 10, 15-minute clip. But that commission structure is out there. It's not hard to find it. Henry just did a video today on the payout that we can get here with Ihub. But you're looking at 5% to 35% on hotspot production based on where it is in your organization that you build out. And those 2 commissions are really down, break it down right here, either 10% or 20% on anyone you personally refer who gets a hotspot. You're getting that on their hotspot production. Yeah, 10 or 20%. There's no variance in between. It's either 10 or 20. And how does that number come down? That's all explained in the compensation. When you go and do a little bit more homework on that, you'll see it's real easy to get to 20% on any lease device. You should definitely get 20% right away. Okay. So there you go. Most people are going to get 20% if you're paying attention in class. That's as difficult as that is. And that's on personal referrals. And you can go get as many as you want. This is a unilevel coded bonus. And so you can go as wide as you want. The wider you go, the higher your percentage is. And that's where this comes in, the second commission. And there are three, either 5, 10, or 15% on any affiliates referred by your personal referrals. Okay, so your affiliates, first level, and then any affiliates that they refer, and you can get paid down on multi-levels, many multi-levels, at 5%, 10%, or 15%, again, based on your pay structure and how wide you go. It really is that simple. People like to complicate it and, try to overanalyze it. But if you just stay with the parameters I gave you, and again, go back and watch the presentation that we did before, you can get all that stuff. We'll have a separate video. Actually, Henry already spelled it out for you, so you can go and watch that. Here is a specific example, a real example of payout. And this was the number that, if you've been on our webcast before, for the last few weeks, we've been talking about this, because this is one rep, one affiliate under Henry on his front line, and he brought in enough hotspots, actually before everybody else. He really had to jump on this, and he got a lot of hotspots before everybody else. And that was very smart on his part, but he went out and bought a bunch. And when he did that, then he got hotspots deployed in a big way. And this is showing you, this is actually a printout from Henry's back office. This is his team. And we like to recognize Robert right there, because he's cranking down in Puerto Rico. And I'm sure Henry will tell you how well he's doing down there in Puerto Rico. But right here is the HNT earned, right there in September. Henry, when did you go down to Puerto Rico? You got to tell us that. What month was that? Was that September?
I went down. No, I went down first week of September.
Yeah, there you go. So Robert got his devices deployed and just got them set up. And so the first month Henry could really start cranking on that, after they had got everything in place, was October. So you'll see right there that he had this affiliate on his first level, 130 HNT for the month of September, and that was fantastic for our first month.
Hey,
but
John,
check this out. Now we're gonna fast forward.
Hold on,
to
John.
November. All right, I'll hold. Go ahead.
The month before, for August, I think he was like 8. He only had 8 HNT. He just had a couple of devices, and I was like, "Oh, Stefan's starting to work." And so I was talking to Kevin that, and all of a sudden I was just like, "Bam!" I was like, "Wow!" It just started happening. So that was just a 1 month, really his first real month of earning. So go ahead.
Okay, and then I'll let you go ahead and finish this off, because this is your team.
Yeah. So what you have to understand is he's not just deploying devices all over the place himself, right? What he's doing, he has a bunch of people that he referred, just like me, just like John, just like many other people on this call. And what he did is he's deploying them into his frontline people's businesses, or some of his frontliners have other people underneath them that have good locations. So he's deploying them, and he brought himself to the gold rank, right? So he was recognized in Vegas as a gold, means he's personally deployed over 25 devices. So I was telling John, the first 5 days in the month, he was already like getting close to like I go, he's gonna double that this month. John goes, really? I'm like, yeah. I go, the 5 days. All done. By the time he did the 7th day, he was already over the 130. Right? I was like, oh my God. Then it was like 179 just a couple days ago, and then today is 215. Now, folks, math is math, right? So if you did 130 on a large month of 31 days, and there's only 30 days in November, okay, that's going to be a double in effect. So he's going to be close to 450 HNT, right? So at current rate is about $50 a coin. You're talking about a significant amount of earnings. Now, also, I heard that he has more boxes that he's deploying right now. So I'm hoping for him and his family to get about 500 HNT. It'd be nice to see how that maps out this month. But it's more than that. You know, we all work together. And because I've helped him and his teams are growing, there's people underneath him. I know he has another gold person underneath him, and actually two separate gold people. So there's people working now. We all have the same opportunity. He started a little bit earlier, right? So now with the lease model, you could say, hey, if he has 200 devices underneath him, roughly, right? How do I get 200 devices? Do I have to go get 200 devices myself, or do I have to get 10 people and help them develop their teams? It's really just math. Either one, it doesn't really matter. Just get it done. So I was doing a video today, and I was saying, hey, you want to take care of your car payment? Bring 5 people on, get them deployed. You want your mortgage done? Do 25. You want to be like Stefan Mano and get a life-changing income at $20-something thousand a month in the second month? There you go. Go to work. So I mean, it's here. Those are real earnings, folks. 215 HNT in 15 days. Crazy number.
There you go. I love it, and I appreciate you sharing that. When we look at this, you might say this is crazy. He's averaging 1 HNT per device, but this is real. You saw it with your own eyes. That was the previous slide. And there it was. And thank you to Henry for sharing that. We talk about projections and theory and hypothetical. This is not hypothetical. This is real. And the income is real. I joined a company 32 years ago. And one of the things that blew me away was I met a guy who had been in the company for 5 years before I even saw it. And his check was already a 6-figure monthly amount. And I just couldn't even believe it. I looked at his income and I said, okay, people are making money here. It's real. And I went to work like a maniac, and I became one of the first 400 people to earn $1 million in that company because I saw the guy's income. It was real. Well, that's what you just experienced. You saw the income. It is real. And everybody can go and do that right there, 200 hotspots. The key question for you and for me and for everybody else on this call is, can you go do 1,000 hotspots? Can you go do 2,000? Can you get 2,000 hotspots in place? Can you get 5,000? Can you get 10,000? And when you do those numbers, that's when, you look at that and you say, oh, that's a lot of money. No. And that's why we talked about 1,000 hotspots. And then we said our goal's too low, 10,000. And now you do the math on 10,000 hotspots producing 10,000 HNT, or even 10,000 hotspots producing 2,000 HNT, and do the math on that. And then your head starts spinning, and then you can't sleep at night, and then you're ruined like I am, and this is all you think about, which is kind of fun. So there you go. Now, hopefully you've got a little taste of what we're talking about. Now also let me add some perspective, because this is what Helium had on their Facebook page from just over a year ago, back in September. I laugh every time I think about this, because it says right here, get paid $35 a month to host a hotspot in your home. Yes, we're serious, which is kind of comical to me, because that's $400 a year if you average $35 a month. And all of a sudden, the 25% that our company pays on a leased hotspot all of a sudden looks a lot better than that. We use average 20 HNT per device. And if you got $20 on that, there's $400 a month. Now, I need to take this and just chop that in half at $10 HNT average a month. And now we're like double that, and you're still at $400 a month. It's incredible to me. So we're taking the production way down, and you can see this number just continues to go kablooey. So it's kind of fun. But there's $400 a month at 25%. That's what you would pocket as the leasee of the device. Or if you buy a device, whatever, if you can go and find someone who has one. But that would be $100 a month or over a year. If you average that, that would be $1,200 a year compared to that amount. I show you that just to give you an idea of, hey, how much can I make if I host a hotspot in my home? Now you have an idea. Whether it's 50, as Henry always says, you can cover your internet bill, 50, 60 bucks a month. If you just got that, would that make sense for you to go and get one of these devices to put in your home, where it costs you 20 bucks a month or whatever to host one of these? And the answer is, of course, yeah. All right, let's talk about the backing of this now that we covered the income. This is when they turned 2 just a few months ago in August, seems like yesterday. This is some of the press that is sitting there at helium.com. You can go read all these articles. This is literally 2 years of press, kind of fun. And you can go see all that on the About page and then click on press. But helium.com also has the co-founders, the corporate officers. They're all listed on there. I love the transparency. You can literally look at every hotspot connected to the Helium network and see what they're producing. No one's going to be able to lie about their income here. And you can also go right on here and see all the corporate officers, and you can go see the code and everything. This guy right here, Amir Halim, actually was the world's #1 gamer and won some crazy 7-figure award for that title. And then he went on to develop the game of the year for 2002, Battlefield 1942. People tell me all the time, yeah, I have that game. And you can see here he co-founded the company that created that and co-founded Global Gaming League. Probably the smartest thing he did was bumping into this guy right here, Sean Fanning. If you don't know that name, you probably know that name right there, Napster, that landed him on the cover of Time magazine when he was 19 years old. That was 20 years ago, right? 21 years ago. And Napster, of course, got shut down, and then they changed their model to music streaming, and that led to all these other companies that we're all familiar with, Spotify, iHeartRadio, etc. But he founded Helium, the Helium network, in 2013. Took him 6 years of programming and of getting the funding and doing all that setup, 6 years before they launched in 2019. I already told you the rest of that story. But look at this. This is exciting right here. All the VC money that is behind this company. You look at all these monster VC companies, and if you don't know their names, I'll help you out. Here are some of the other companies that they helped fund, which should make it a real feel-good story here to know that we're with the companies that developed all these other monsters right there. Really impressive list. Here's another one. Mark Andreessen, one of the founders of the World Wide Web, invented the first browser, well-known browser out there, Netscape, and his VC company actually helped raise $100 million. This headline ran everywhere back in August. And, my question is, what do these guys know that I don't? Probably a lot, right? In fact, would any of these super successful, reputable VC companies put money into a fake or illegitimate company? No, of course not. So, that just sums all this up about we are in the right place at the right time. In fact, Henry and I, every day, we're still pinching ourselves like, how lucky have we been to stumble onto this when we did? And everybody on this call, same thing. You're in the right place at the right time. If we got 300,000 devices out and we need millions, even if we only need 3 million, we still have 90% of our growth to go. So there's plenty of market share for everyone on here to go and add 1,000 or thousands of these devices. Just a matter of how hard you want to work and who you talk to about it. So there you go. We are using the network. Companies are using the network right now. You can see that at helium.com. Hundreds of companies, thousands of developers already building on the people's network, building all these things right here to run on LongFi. What's LongFi? Well, it's a lot longer than Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi is the length of your house or maybe a store, and then LongFi can run up to 10 miles. That would be about 200 times farther than Wi-Fi. That's the ticket. That's why all these companies want it. And here's just a sampling, a handful of some of the companies that have put a testimonial on the helium.com website. I mentioned these companies earlier, and you can go read all the testimonials. This is the biggest one. This is all I got to talk about. Microsoft's IoT cloud hosts millions of devices, machines talking to machines, and they just plugged in to seamlessly integrate with the Helium network. Boom, right there. That's an IoT expert from Microsoft that is talking about that on the Helium website. So really incredible. We don't even need to talk about anybody else. That's about as big as you can get in terms of the cloud and in terms of devices that need to plug in to talk to other devices. And all these are different examples of ways that machines will talk to machines. And everyone's familiar with this now. I don't even have to talk about it. No different than your cell phone talking to another cell phone. That's an example, but we don't do all that. We're not talking audio and video. We're talking strictly data packets, and that is the IoT, the Internet of Things, that already dwarfs the number of cell phones. In fact, they say that there are 30 billion devices that are connected now on the IoT, and it's supposed to double in the next 4 or 5 years and double again after that. What's fascinating is it already doubled twice in the last 5 years. So it is going. And you can see this chart right here. We didn't do that. It's off of these websites down here. But, you know, all the benefits of the IoT are obvious. We remove humans from the equation, which leads to better efficiency and quality of life. And you can go read up on all this. Just Google Internet of Things, number of devices, and it will go boom right there. So that's what Helium is doing. And guess what? We don't have to go get people or companies or anybody to use that device. All we have to do is put it in our home, connect it to the net, and then Helium takes care of the rest. They go out and get customers to use the box that sits in our home or our office. Does that make sense? Here's an ad that they ran on Facebook. Henry found this right there. And when I saw this, I said, I'm going to see if that's true. I went to one of the companies, and it's LoneStarTracking.com. I actually went and found this on their site right there. They're actually bragging that, yes, we are paying Helium for our data transmission. Pretty awesome right there. And so it's in writing. You can verify all this stuff. Again, it's totally 100% transparent, and they do all the work. All we have to do is rent a little bit of our real estate, our home or office, to them for them to put their box in here, and then they pay us a little chunk of all the data transmission. That's the setup. That's the business model. And this is showing you how they compete with the big three telcos and why they're taking market share. I don't even have time to talk about all that. Here's our marketing company right here, Ihub Global. And we have contracted with Helium to go out and market, to get all these devices in place. You can go to the website of the person that invited you, their username, .ihub.global. It's not .com, it's .global. Username .ihub.global, and when you get there, just click on the Join Now button, and you can sign up for free. Put your name in the system, give them your name, your email address, your credit card. No, you don't have to give them a credit card. I'm just kidding. Your cell phone, and there is no credit card. They don't ask you for any money, and you're in the system. You have access to all the training materials, to the placement software. All that's in place, and you don't have to worry about paying them a penny unless you want to go and get a machine, in which case you can go right now and reserve a machine and get your name in line. And we're going to tell you how to do that at the end of this if you want to jump the line and get priority placement. Now, this is the corporate offices right here, the CEO of Ihub. He actually started a company about 15 years ago, took it to hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, so he knows how to scale up a company. And he actually found out about this from Chuck Hansen, who found out about it from Mike Stern. And Chuck has been in the whole direct sales network marketing world he's in his 5th decade of that. But he's the one who found out about Helium from Mike and then went to Helium and said, hey, you guys need a direct sales company to go out there and spread the word. And that was the beginning of Ihub Global. So we got a bunch of other powerhouse people that have plugged in here. Here's the capital behind Ihub, which is really incredible. Jord Capital is the driver, and I don't even know how they landed these guys, but we actually heard from all of them. All 5 of these people are on the stage right here. This is so rare. I've been in direct sales over 3 decades, and I have never even known the name of the financing behind any of these companies, let alone see them on stage talking about how excited they were to be plugged in. So there's Ryan Ramage right there, and he was kind of like the MC for their little panel and all of these guys. And then we heard from Thomas Gallagher right here on our call last week, our corporate call, and I'll show you that in a sec. But here is the website for Jord Capital, and you can go there, jordcapital.com. They're not talking about Helium or any specific funding that they've done. They don't do that. That would be probably a violation of their agreements with these companies. But they do say right down here in the info that they've completed over $90 billion in merger and acquisition and raised more than $15 billion in money for new projects. Now, if you take the $100 million that they financed into our company, which they announced, that's like you and me going and spending $10 at 7-Eleven. It literally is like 0.1% of that money right there. $100 million is nothing compared to what they've done. So that's who's behind this. This is Ryan again on his LinkedIn page, public info. You can go see it right there. The managing director of the fund. And here is Tom Gallagher, who I told you was on our call just last week. He's general counsel for George Capital. Pretty amazing because he was on there. You can see the recording of that call in the Ihub Global back office. And he said on that call that this was the most exciting thing he's seen in 10 years. That's what he said. And he's been, doing the paperwork and all the legalese mumbo jumbo for a lot of companies and a lot of monster financing deals. So to have him say that was really impressive. Pretty exciting. Ihub also went and bought the software company in June that helps you place your hotspot. You can go check that out. That is another huge home run that we have them. Here's another one. We just found out about this Saturday before last when we were out there in Vegas, and we found out that these two companies right here, the VH IoT Group and Oxit, together are releasing all of these different device packages that will run off of the Helium network that we can go and sell to residences, to restaurants, to stores. And, just to give you a little background on these guys real quick, because all these devices aren't out yet, we probably won't see them until the first quarter of next year. But 25 years of IoT experience, I don't even know how you do that. That's machines talking to machines, 25 years of that. I thought the internet was 25 years old. I don't know how they've done that. Long range Wi-Fi, 8 years of experience of that. And they've helped connect over 20 million devices to the IoT. That's crazy, and launched over 100 products. So that's a big deal. And we actually heard from them. This is the BH group. The B is Steve Broomer, and he spoke on our company call last Tuesday. And so that was fun. And this is just a screenshot of him on there talking. There it is right there, Steve Broomer. So his company, and, just give me an idea of some of the different devices that they're going to offer. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger. Another thing that was incredible was some of the speakers that we had. If you're familiar with the whole networking world, Eric Worre, we were actually in Worre Studios in Vegas, and he was out there speaking to us at our event. And, he talked about how he has made $15 million in his networking career. And he didn't do that because he got lucky. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time. He went and worked his tail off, brought a ton of people in. Very similar, actually, to what our man Henry has done here. And he does a seminar every year in December, first weekend in December, and he calls it Go Pro, to become a network marketing professional. And he teaches people how to do that. He has on his YouTube channel thousands of videos, and I think I've probably watched half of them. And he talks about just that, how to do this business right. And I looked at him up there talking about how much money he'd made in that. And then he announced to all of us on that event on Saturday, November 6th, he said that he has signed up for the first weekend in December this year, 63,000 people who have paid $199, call it $200 each, to get on that his GoPro show. And I did the math on 63,000 times 200. That's over $12 million right there. He's the one that shared that info, not me. So it's no secret. So he's made he will make in one weekend what he made in his entire career. He's been doing this for years. So, he's very successful. And the fact that he was at our event, and then he stands up there and he says, "No one's given me a hotspot yet." It was pretty funny. And he's kind of chuckling when he said that. And as he's saying that, our CEO, Rick Cotton, is racing up there to hand him a hotspot. So it was kind of fun. It was fantastic. I was glad I was there. You can go probably see a video of that whole talk and everything I just described to you. And you can hear him say the 15 million and the 63,000 numbers. He said it right there, recorded. This is CoinZoom. They'll handle our payment processing You can see here access to billions of accounts globally, transactions moved in under 5 seconds. Spend Helium anywhere Visa is accepted. We will have a Visa debit card that you can move your money onto and then convert it to dollars, move it to your bank, or leave it on a Visa card. Pretty awesome. I'm, again, not going to talk about that anymore, but you can check that out and you can go set up your account. All right, I'm done. I'm sure you're tired of listening to me. Henry's going to give you a real interesting history of what he went through with crypto. In just a matter of minutes, you're going to be able to see the transformation he went through from not knowing much about crypto to becoming an expert just in the last couple of years. So Henry Vigeant up in New Hampshire, it's all yours, sir.
Thank you, John. For those of you who haven't been really watching, I'm just going to change this up a little bit. The Helium Network token today is worth just about $50. A year ago, it was 25 cents. So if you had $100 worth a year ago, right, it would be going up 200 times. So 200 times 100 is $20,000. So if you put $100 in when it first started, you'd make $20,000. I don't know about you. Most people that I know don't have $20,000 in the bank, right? Matter of fact, historically, when people retire, they have less than $1,000 in the bank. A large portion of people that retire, like 80% of the people. So the reason why I say this, cryptocurrency can change people's lives. It can give you a boost or a change of status, right? If you're, if you've been used to being a working class person, you want to get up and change your lifestyle, get some cryptocurrency some way, somehow, just do it. Now, I know it was scary. I was scared. 2016, I remember thinking to myself, and this is a true thought, I'm like, I am so uneducated at this. I don't want to be a fool. And I don't want people to think I'm a fool, so I'm not going to do it, right? And it really wasn't my fault. It just people just wouldn't give me the answers I need to make me feel comfortable in my decisions. So, and I was 100% right. Cryptocurrency was really shaky back in 2016. But in 2019, it starts to snowball effect on a mainstream basis. JP Morgan comes out and says, hey, we see it as a viable option for our investors. We're going to do some Bitcoin. And so they started that was the aha moment. And there was a huge press release and all these people like, oh my God, it can't be JP Morgan. They're making a big mistake, or are they, right? And so look at this one here. They handle $400 billion in management accounts, right? And they're the fifth highest year return in commodities funds, right? That's a Newberger. So do you see what's happening? Major financial institutions are choosing Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. El Salvador, a country, has adopted cryptocurrency as their currency. They didn't, they didn't sound like it's backed by gold anymore or whatever countries do. They chose cryptocurrency. Now, some of you might use Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or all the other pay apps. I do it all the time. Not only are these companies tied right to your bank, so that means they're very stringent in the securities thing. So if they're stringent, means they can go through all the same banking laws. Now, cryptocurrency is becoming so mainstream that they all sell, every one of them sells cryptocurrency, and PayPal actually gives loans on your cryptocurrency. FYI. So you can see how now it's saying, well, why is it such a secret? Well, usually things don't move until it goes through actors and actresses and sports people, right? Here we go. Barkley here got a $10 million bonus, and he's while he's doing his game, right? His money is just earning. And then Trevor Lawrence, #1 draft pick. Same thing, but a little larger scale, 24 million. Again, he's building his brand. He's doing what he does best, playing football, and his money will be earning money on top of itself. Now, most people don't have the ability to put $10 million or $24 million into cryptocurrency. So they have to start off small and they go into trading, and sometimes they get put in bad trades, and they're trusting people with their income, or you have to become a professional trader yourself, and that really is where it gets kind of sketchy. So a year ago, I remember it was October of 2020. I had already started accumulating some cryptocurrency, and John and I were talking, and I remember dumping a bunch of my revenue into Ethereum when Ethereum was at $100, right? And then now today it's almost at $5,000. So just to let you know how it went up 50x. And so I say this because it's happening over and over and over again. But I was educating myself, folks. And one of the things I noticed is some people were getting hurt on when they did trading. And so I didn't want that to happen to me, right? Because I've made some poor trades in my times. So I decided to go the traditional way. I wanted to do it like brick and mortar and just have a bunch of miners. I mean, I wanted like a wall of miners, 200 computers, and, you know, with the fans and the solar panels generating all the electricity. And I had a huge blueprint, and I had all these notes, and I told my partners, I'm like, we're doing it. And I had the funding getting ready in place. I asked permission from everybody that, you know, all the parties to be, and it was all a go until John talked to me about Ihub Global, and he ruined my plans. No, seriously. It's a good thing. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. But all I know is this. I knew one thing, that I didn't have to lay out the money, first of all. And I could do what I did best and build teams. Because that's what I've been doing for 26 years. I've been learning how to build teams, right? And so I didn't want to break away from what I knew best. I just thought that was a viable option, right? So now I'm like, wait, I get the best of both worlds. I can mine coins or create coins through a machine with our box, and I can build a team with this too. I was like, wow, this is great. And so it was everything I wanted and then some. And so I just started working, you know, texting 5 people a day. Hey, have you heard about the box you plug in and earn crypto, right? And I started teaching that after I had a team of about 1,000 people, right? And I was like, I just teach everybody that one script. It was easy. Just text people and they come in. And all of a sudden, before I know it, I was like, John, he's like, how many people you have today? I remember one day he was telling me, how many people you have today? You just send me your thing, and you haven't sent it in a couple of days. And I sent him one at 30,000. And he goes, who do you have, 31? And I'm like, I'm at 37. And he goes, that was like 5 days ago. I'm like, I know. So, and that's how fast it grows. But now I'm saying this very humbly. It's it's humbling because not just our group is growing, everybody is growing very rapidly. I know that, you know, just on this call, I'm looking at least 8 names that have personally sponsored over 100 people, and congratulations to all of them. And I know many people on this have done over 20. That doesn't happen in typical network marketing companies. It just doesn't happen, right? And more so, in a traditional, I'm just going to just kind of give my thoughts here a little bit. In a traditional network marketing company, they ask you to spend $200 to $500 or more just to get started. Okay, Ihub is free to get enrolled. Right, it's free to get a business. You're never required to have a machine. Okay, if you get a machine, that's great, but you're not required to have a machine to grow a team. That's the key. Also, in a traditional company, you have an auto ship of $100 to $200 per month to stay qualified. Most people, they bolo out in about 3 months. They stop their auto ship, so you have to continue sponsoring. These are facts, right? Me and John used to
I
call
like
it
that word, bolo out.
me and John used to call it the dirty little secret to network marketing, and so you know, we have a opportunity here. When people plug in a device, it's set it and forget it. They're not unplugging when they have income. Right. And so we have an opportunity. They can come in, they reserve a hotspot, they get this great antenna. So they reserve their hotspot for $99. Right. If they choose that way, right, they create their story. And my phone is blowing up. Sorry, folks. And it happens. And then for $18 a month, you have equipment charge, $18 a month, for the ability to earn an average of 10, their device does about 10 HNT per month. right? So if you're getting 25% of that, you're getting about $125. So you're swapping $18 for $125 on average, all right? It's pretty, this word, a no-brainer, happens way too often in our game. But I would have to say, if somebody doesn't do that, I think there's something else wrong. Okay, because anybody that could just earn $125 a month just by plugging in a box, it's something that's almost a necessity. And more so, telling people during the holidays that you have coming up is really critical. You're going to see all kinds of friends and family, and you don't have to worry about selling them an opportunity. You're actually offering them a box that can produce income for themselves and their family. So they have two different models, of course. I do like the lease option. They do have one that somebody wants to just put a deposit down on the box, and they get all their full deposit back when they return their equipment. I just like the first option one better. I think it's a more viable thing, because if you have an extra $400, I say buy $400 in HNT and just hold it. For me personally, that's what I would do. But again, that's your decision. Anybody that gets involved, you have that decision. That's not my decision. That's yours. We're here to support you in any decision that you get. Certainly, I know one thing: growing a team is by far much more stronger than an individual box. Okay, so you can have a box and get that $50 to $200 range. That's great, but when you grow a team of hundreds or thousands, you can change your life, and that's really true. John, I didn't tell you today, and I'm gonna give you a couple of facts. Well, at convention, my partner said, "Oh, we earned this month," and similar to the other gentleman. What our month total income was last month, we've already doubled it in the first 2 weeks of this month. So that means a quadrupling of my income for the month of November expected. It's the same pattern. And I'm not giving numbers. Don't ask. I just don't do that. I don't tell people how much I earn. I never do. But I just want to let you know it's following the same track as the other gentleman, which I'm very excited for. Right now, how do I grow from here? I want to help.
Don't worry, I'm going to tell everybody how much you're earning.
Right. No, but I want to help 1,000 people do what I just did on that income.
Yeah.
That's my next goal. And by doing that, if I have to bring in, if I have to help bring in 1 million reps, that's what we'll do. Right. But the opportunity is here, folks. It's absolutely here. And a lot of people are gonna, and don't forget, there's gonna be some people that don't do the lease thing, and there's gonna be a lot of real estate opening up in just a month, right? And just in a couple weeks, you're gonna see a lot of those orange spots disappear. So you're gonna have a lot more opportunity. Now, talk about opportunity. You have an opportunity to grab as much of this market share as possible. If I did my quick math here, you have. I just tried to do a touch screen. You're looking at about 250,000 devices. That's actually the same amount of worldwide devices deployed in the Helium network right now, more or less. And so these are like contracted purchase orders, right? That's why they had those big investors. Those big investors backed, our devices. So these are in the manufacturing, getting produced right now and getting all packaged up, ready to be deployed for our company. So right now, I know that we already have a few thousand of them already chosen, but there's plenty for January. So I would suggest everybody just reach out to people, get 5 people each on this board right away. And if you have a team already in place, personally call them. Give them the due diligence. Call them personally. It's the best way. Give them information. If you can't explain it, I have a little video I did today and explains the whole thing as well. Okay, so that's it. I mean, plug in. This is a great opportunity. John, you did a fantastic job with this presentation today. A lot of information. Everybody, you that's one thing about our team. We're well informed, right? And I think it's critical when you're having a business. We're not here to do a hobby. We don't need just 2-minute videos, because 2-minute videos only give you 2 minutes of information. So I know there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of cogs in the wheel right now, and a lot of things happening. We would want to make sure you're the most educated reps in the space. So again, congrats to everybody on this team. Oh, and one more thing, Tracy. If you didn't know Tracy, I talked to him, and he had won the October challenge. I want to say thank you again. I just sent him some funds. I hope you can use that for maybe take your sweetheart out or whatever you want to do with it. It's
Congratulations, Tracy. Way to crush it.
Right.
Also, congrats to Kyle, and also congratulations to John Goodwin. We'll open this up for questions. I just wanted to note, Henry, Janet had a question about she didn't get confirmation on her payment. I would definitely send a support ticket in to the company, and if you don't get an answer to that, contact your upline. I put our contact info on there so that all of you, if you have an individual issue, that's why we're here, and we want to make sure that everybody gets their name in that line for this hotspot delivery right here, this schedule. And look at this. I'm just going to touch on this real quick. We have 50,000 devices going out in the first 60 days of 2022. That will satisfy just about everybody that's in line. So you want to get in that line right there, and that's how you accelerate getting a hotspot. There's a lot of people that are in line, but they haven't gone through what they need to do to get their hotspot. So I'm telling everybody, get that done. And we've already got a bunch of people that are lining up, but there's only a few thousand people that have gotten in line here. So if you want to jump the line, there you go. We just told you how to do it. And if you didn't clue in on that, I'll go back to this previous slide, and it tells you right there. I mean, this is actually a slide that a picture I took with our CEO, Rick Cotton, standing right there. It's either $99 and then an $18 a month lease, or $99 and the $400 deposit. Obviously, $400 is going to be a lot cheaper than the 3-year $18 a month option. But if you don't have the $400 or you don't want to go down that path, that's fine. But that $99 includes an antenna. It includes the setting up of your address, the activation fee, and then all of your other stuff to be an affiliate here with Helium. So you're actually getting that package. Most of us on this call that bought a device previously, we had to go and then buy our antenna. So that's a pretty good deal. That does not include shipping, and I posted in our Facebook group all the details on that. So if you haven't seen that, you can go check that out. But I did want to point all that out because it's really important. If you look at this right here, you're talking about 200,000. There's 100,000, 110. There's another 110. 200,000 hotspots that are going to go out after these 50,000 from March to June. That's literally everybody who's even sniffed Ihub in the last 6 months getting a device. So there you go. Table set. They're going to deliver. They said that this was firm, that they had commitments from the manufacturers to deliver, and that these were paid for. So that's what they said, and that's all we can do is go on that. Now, if they're late on delivering these, c'est la vie, that's life. Henry and I, when we looked at this, we already had accepted that it was going to take a while to get the machines out. We thought it might take to the end of the year. And what's really fascinating is that I bought a machine before we got going with Ihub. I actually bought a machine from the website, helium.com. That was the middle of May. Guess when I got that machine? I still haven't gotten it. I haven't heard anything from the manufacturer on when I'm going to get it. That was 6 months ago. So, and I knew. I said to the guy that told me about Helium, I said, if we go and buy 10 of these devices, 20 of these devices, who knows when we're going to get the machines? I can have 10,000 people signed up in Ihub before we'll even see a machine. And that's what we did, and it turned out that we were right. So there's your delivery schedule, and we are off to the races. Henry, you got anything else you want to add to that?
Yes,
and then let's open it up.
John Bishop has a question.
Okay, good. Let me unmute the line here, and then all of you can unmute yourselves. Hold on one second. All right, now everybody can unmute and you can ask your questions, fire away. We don't have any secrets, especially if you got confusion or questions about the change that was made of the price of the hotspot or anything like that. Please feel free to fire away.
Okay,
And
hi.
Henry, you can click off that recording. Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks. A great presentation, both of you today.